you got it. You can do the job. I love the way you look.
Chris, emergency case. I need your help with the garden design.
No worries. I've got the perfect solution for you. It's our $299 garden design package. Come to Hello Hello and get a 45-minute consult with me, and I'll help you lay out the perfect garden and choose the exact right plants. And what you're going to get is you're going to get $299 worth of plants and a free $99 feature tree. So book now and get that perfect dream garden for your wife. Every home needs a lemon tree, and if you've already got a lemon tree, well, you need 2 lemon trees. That's it. If you go online or come into Hello Hello and you spend over $100, we're chucking in a free $30 lemon tree. That's a $30 lemon tree absolutely free. So you can have a lemon tree in the backyard. Go online or come down to Hello Hello and get a free $30 lemon tree. McDonald's has great burgers, but they've got even better gardens. And here we've got a fabulous rare magnolia. You'll hardly find one anywhere. It's called a Magnolia denudata. It's a beautiful, rare Japanese magnolia, and it has fabulous fragrance. Heavenly. And basically it's a small to medium tree. It loses its leaves in the autumn, and then you have this amazing flowering in spring, amazing white flowers. And for those people into a green and white garden who want to have a beautiful magnolia and don't want the Solangiana with its pinks and mauves and things like that, the denudata is the answer. And when you get it flowering, smell it. It's fabulous. Denudata magnolia. Don't wait, the garden's calling. Click now. Tap the link and let's go. Wow, look at my new van. It's the pinkest van I've ever owned. It's a beauty for doing deliveries. And I'm out doing deliveries all the time. And what it is, you're working hard, you're dropping it off here, you're carrying it in there, you're in and out, in and out, in and out. Before you know it, you're heading down the highway, people are tooting, and you got your pink tutu caught in the door. I mean, it's embarrassing. But at any rate, if you see this van out on the road with this pink tutu hanging out in the door, take a video, take a photo, put it up online, then come in store and I'll give you a beautiful free plant. But it's got to be this tutu here, okay? People often ask me if I get upset if they buy plants or book garden designs at other nurseries. And my answer is absolutely not. You're free to go to whatever nursery you want. Just kidding. We've got thousands of plants and a good garden design centre, so you better come to Hello Hello. Having things crack, that's a pretty bad thing, but maybe it's not. Check this out. What we've got here is cracked pots, and they've all got a bit of a crack.
All right, hey guys, welcome to our live Q&A with Chris today. How you doing, Chris?
Good, thanks. Yeah.
Great, so this is a space for you guys to ask your gardening questions. Any plant related or gardening questions are welcome here on the show. Or perhaps you need some advice from an expert sitting right in front of you on the camera right now in regards to horticulture and planting and trees and everything else.
Hey Mickey, why don't you get a couple of those nice Hardenbergias out there? That'll be...
Birches?
Hardenbergias, the purple
and
white
white
ones.
ones out there.
Yep, so we're just bringing in some plants for you guys to look on the live, but yeah, this live is for you guys to ask your questions. So we do this for you. You can drop your questions in the comment section, whether it be plant related or a garden question, or maybe you got something wrong with one of your trees or plants and you want some advice on how to get something growing better. Yeah, Chris can answer that for you.
Yeah, and the thing is, don't be embarrassed to ask some really simple question, you know, and often you know, like it'll be some really simple problem that'll be messing up somebody's garden. I thought I'd just bring these in.
These are the Hardenbergias. Yeah, tell us a bit about these.
Hardenbergias, these came on the market and became popular back in the 70s, and And the first one on the market was this purple one that you see here. It's called the Happy Wanderer. And
Yeah.
then they brought out a new one called the, what do they call it?
Duo?
Whiteout, this one
Whiteout,
here.
okay.
And that's a beautiful white one. And then they discovered that when you plant the purple one and the white one together, that normally I never normally plant two different climbers together because one will sort of strangle the other one. But
Yeah.
when you plant these two together, they harmonise and they grow
Really?
beautifully. And you end up, and you can cover a whole big trellis and you get this beautiful mixture of purples and whites.
Yeah.
And then they call this, when they plant the two together, they call it the Happy Duo.
Yeah,
So
I've
this
heard
is your
that,
Happy
yeah.
Wanderer and this is your Happy Duo. But you can also just buy this white one separately and just have white ones.
So Happy Duo, they actually grow happily together.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not trying to kill each
It's
other
like,
like
the
in
perfect,
nature.
like the perfect marriage. It is the Happy
really-
Duo.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
They must have been sort of like evolved over the years to grow together and then conquer as well, or something like
That's right.
that.
It's the only climate that I know of where you can grow two together and not have one overwhelm the other.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Actually, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but you can see that it's sort of intertwined as well at the top. It's really
Yeah.
interesting.
And I've seen where people have got great big trellises completely covered in that, and it just beautifully blended and perfectly in harmony with each other.
Yeah, that's really cool. And another thing to point out is that we're in the middle of winter, and they're a beautiful color, isn't it? Like flowers.
And with a lot of things that flower in the winter,
Hmm.
because it's cold, they tend to flower for longer. You know, like
Yeah,
often
right.
in the heat of summer, something flowering might be, some things can just be for a few days, some things for a few weeks, but these flower weeks and weeks and weeks. I reckon you've got another 6 or 8 weeks of enjoying the flowers on these.
That's really awesome. And I remember you saying also, if you want color all around in your garden, you should go shop in the nursery every season. So if you
should
came
shop,
in,
yeah, if you shopped in the nursery every week, if you came to Hello
Every
Hello
week.
every single week of the year,
52 times a
52
week.
weeks of the year, and you bought what was in flower, you'd end up with stuff that flowered every single day in your garden.
But even all jokes aside, I mean, that'd be great. We'll have you here every week. But if you come in seasonally, you'll have a colourful garden all year round, because not many, like you, this is your exact words. You said most people come here in spring, and then they get the spring flowers, and then they wonder why they've got a bland-looking garden the rest of the year.
Yeah, actually, I'll tell you a funny story.
Yeah, go on then. While we're waiting for the questions to roll on in.
I've always had a really busy nursery and not much time to talk to all the customers individually. But I recognise people, I see people, and I remember there was a young couple that came into my nursery, and they drove a white Holden panel van. This was when
Yeah.
I had a nursery up in Emerald. They drove a white Holden panel van. They used to come in every weekend, and we always had a few exciting things on bargain. And they'd buy 1 or 2 trolleyfuls of bargain stuff every week. And they
Yeah.
came in every week and
Every week, was
yeah,
it?
every
Okay.
week. And then she got pregnant and she had a baby, and then there was
Got busy,
there was
right?
a baby seat in the middle with a little baby in there, and gradually
Really?
the baby got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And they come in every week, and I thought, and one day I'm thinking to myself, I thought, wow, these people must have an amazing garden.
Yeah.
And years had gone by, like that she got pregnant, had a baby, and this baby was, is now walking around,
Yeah.
And I said, you must have a fantastic garden. You bought so many plants.
Yeah.
And she looked at her husband and she looked a bit embarrassed, and she said, do you know we haven't planted anything yet?
What?
And
Well, she just had it all in pots.
I don't know what they were doing, but they must have bought a semi-trailer. They just like going to the nursery every week and buying some plants. But they
Wow.
must have had a semi-trailer
Having
load or
plants.
2 semi-trailer loads of plants.
Oh my gosh.
Because they used to buy a few every week, but it was the funniest thing. They looked at each other a little bit embarrassed, and they said, well, actually, we haven't planted any of them yet.
That's incredible. They just
Yeah.
loved coming out.
Yeah, just go into the nursery and buying some plants.
Well, there's nothing, I mean, I can understand that. Like, I mean, maybe not to that degree, but definitely coming out and buying plants is a really enjoyable experience.
Yeah,
You see something you like, and there's so many different varieties of plants here. That's a very funny story indeed.
Yeah.
All right, well, we should get stuck into it. The questions are rolling in thick and fast. For those of you who've just joined us, it's our live Q&A. This is for you guys to ask questions to Chris, and Chris will answer them live on the show. Gardening questions, of course, or our plant advice. All right, first one here comes to us from, just drop your questions in the comment section too, for those of you wondering. All right, so B. Alarose says, hello, I love Hampton Gardens, but I live in New South Wales. Hydrangeas and other plants don't seem to thrive very well here. Are there some good plants that could thrive on the east coast?
Right, I wonder how far up in New South Wales they are.
Oh, okay. Would that? Yeah, that'd make quite
That
a.
would make quite a big difference, because
Yeah.
once you go north of Sydney, you're getting a bit tropical to enjoy lavenders and a lot of the things that we really enjoy down here.
Yeah.
But certainly, if you were to look, I think a lot of your salvias would do really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the salvia, sort of geraniums should do well.
Yeah.
But it really would depend how far north you were, you know, like.
Yeah.
But as you go north up the coast of New South Wales, it becomes more and more tropical.
Right. Okay.
And by the time you get up to sort of Byron Bay, you're kind of right up in the subtropics, and
Okay. Yeah.
and you're starting to get a bit limited. So how would you do a nice cottage garden there?
Like Hampton style.
You know what I would do? Say I lived in a place like Byron Bay and I wanted a cottage garden, a Hampton. Okay, first of all, let's talk about how you do it. I get people in here every other day asking for a Hampton style garden design. And how do I do it? What I do is, I use natives, I use all sorts of stuff, but I have a set of rules. For Hamptons, I only use plants that have either silver or green foliage, and I use plants that have either white flowers, pink flowers, lavender flowers, blue flowers, or purple flowers. That's my strict rules. No yellow flowers, no red flowers, no orange flowers,
Yeah.
no red leaves, no yellow leaves. So it's basically, I run through that. So if
Yeah.
you were to go
palette.
into your local nursery and look what they're selling, I'm not sure how far north you are, but basically, if you wrote this down, if you went either silver foliage or green foliage, no yellow, no purple, no red, just
Yeah.
silver or yellow.
Yeah.
Then if you do white flowers, pink flowers, lavender flowers, blue flowers, and purple flowers, if that's all you did,
Yeah.
and you put that together, you've got a Hamptons garden.
Okay.
And so that's my rules. And I use natives, I use hydrangeas. Hydrangeas, certainly as far north as Sydney, should do fine. And
Yeah.
even I reckon maybe as far north as Brisbane, really. But plenty of water and out of the hot afternoon sun. Plenty of
Okay.
water out of the hot afternoon sun. You should
Yeah.
be able to take hydrangeas up at least as far north as Brisbane.
Okay, but any higher than that, it starts getting
Yeah.
a bit. Yeah. Okay.
Starting to be too tropical, yeah.
Okay,
But I'm pretty sure
interesting.
I've seen nice hydrangeas in Brisbane.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. B. Ella Rose, if you want to comment.
Yeah,
how high
but
up
there's a
in New
set
South
of
Wales you are?
rules. There's a set of rules that you could then
Apply.
So that set of rules you could adapt to your area, and you could go down to your local nursery, look at what's doing well, get a bit of advice, but stick within that set of rules, and you can make yourself a Hamptons garden.
Perfect. All right, there you go. B. Ella Rose. Katie asks, best smelling flower I can put in my garden besides jasmine.
Well,
already have it,
okay.
yeah.
Just say you live in Melbourne, right?
Yeah.
And we'll work backwards. Number one for Melbourne
Yeah.
is orange jessamine, sometimes called Moraya paniculata.
Oh, yeah.
Orange now why orange jessamine? You've got that beautiful hedge next to your house, haven't
Yeah,
you?
it's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, and how long can you smell that for? For 5 months of the year?
Yeah, it's at least half a year. Yeah.
Yeah. So orange jessamine, beautiful, glossy, tropical-looking foliage, hardy shrub. Grow it in sun, grow it in the shade. Bit of water, bit of fertilizer, and fragrance for 5 months of the year, and fabulous fragrance. So that is the number one. That is your star attraction. Now your number two.
Katie's in Brisbane, by the way. Does that?
Orange jessamine grows even better in Brisbane
better,
than it grows
okay.
here.
Yeah.
Then the number two is your Chinese star jasmine. Chinese star jasmine, 10 weeks.
She
of
said
fragrance.
besides jasmine, already have it.
Oh, besides
Yeah.
jasmine. So orange jessamine is not a jasmine, it's an
Yeah.
orange jessamine.
Yeah.
But some other things that
Jessamine,
are
yeah.
really nice, you could get yourself, probably considered one of the most exquisite perfumes in the world,
Yeah.
is your Michelia alba.
Yeah.
Sometimes
go good in
called
Brisbane
a
as well?
Uline.
Yeah.
Would love it in Brisbane.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be in Brisbane than be in Melbourne. We can grow them in
Okay.
Melbourne, but I'd rather be in Brisbane.
Yeah.
If you can talk to your plants, it'll tell you it'll be rather be in Brisbane. I'm growing okay here, but I'd rather be in Brisbane. But anyway, that has a wonderful little spidery flower and has an adorable fragrance, and again, long flowering.
Yeah.
And then another thing, a really underrated fragrant plant is your port wine magnolia. Now I reckon a port wine magnolia would give you 3 to 5 months of fragrant flowers up in Brisbane.
Yeah.
And it has the flower's not that pretty really. It's a sort of a mauvey sort of a thing, not that pretty, but sort of hidden under the foliage a bit. But the fragrance is heavenly, and it sounds weird, but it's kind of a mixture of bubble gum.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've smelt it. Yeah.
Bubble gum and spices. You know, like it's like spicy bubble gum.
Got a
It's
nice
amazing.
spice
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
So there's three. There's three that will do well in the north. If you're down here in Melbourne,
would slightly differ, would it?
it's fragrant at the moment. Like some really good ones are your Laculia. Laculias are just coming out
Which
at
one's
the
a little
moment.
cooler
And a
again?
Laculia sort of wants to grow under the eaves on the eastern side of your house. It's kind of almost a climber. It's kind of a stringy kind of a bush. You can get it in pink or white, and fabulous, gorgeous looking flowers that are beautifully fragrant.
Okay.
And
I know the ones you're talking about. Yeah.
hey, could you pop out in that shade house out there and get what is it, the pearly gates?
The pearly gates.
What I've been really enjoying is we've got the pearly gates in fragrance at the moment, and your pearly gates, beautiful white blossom, lovely little evergreen shrub.
Yeah.
And I reckon you could grow that up in Brisbane too, but it does particularly well in Victoria. You can use it as a hedge, a specimen, or a pot plant, and we'll get one of those.
Pearly gates up here, yeah.
And I'd love another smell.
Yeah. So the Laculia and the pearly gates would do better in Melbourne, not so good in Brisbane. Is that right?
No, Laculia and Laculia very much a Melbourne thing. Probably in just the right spot in Brisbane, you might struggle with it, but Laculia is fabulous.
Okay.
And pearly gates, I think, would do really well in Melbourne and okay in Brisbane.
All right, there you go, Katie. There's quite a few choices. The first 3 choices Chris gave were better suited to Brisbane, and that was besides jasmine, which was the orange
But
jessamine.
actually, it's a funny thing now.
Yeah.
When you say beside jasmine, you're thinking about Chinese
Probably
star
Chinese
jasmine.
star jasmine,
But lots of people that are allergic to jasmine won't plant the Chinese star jasmine. But Chinese star jasmine isn't actually jasmine. It's only jasmine by name.
Oh,
And
right.
it's actually a.
I didn't know that.
And I have people who are highly allergic to jasmine are generally not allergic to Chinese star jasmine.
Okay.
Because Chinese star jasmine is like a fake jasmine. It's a.
Why is it?
So jasmine in Latin is jasminium, like that, jasminium. But your Chinese star jasmine is a Trachleospernum. And I've actually not come across anybody that's actually allergic to that.
Here's the pearly gates.
So here's the pearly gates. Now this is if you hold this up close to the camera, people might be able to smell it.
I can smell it. Yeah.
Do you reckon we can get the customers to smell it?
Yeah.
Now if you want to smell these, we've got heaps of them in flower at the back. You could come out to hello.
Heaps of flowers on them now too.
Yeah, and look at that. Is it gorgeous green foliage, amazing white, and the fragrance is like it's from heaven. And they call it pearly gates. And I think that it is a very heavenly fragrance.
Yeah.
But I love the beauty and the delicacy of the flowers, and then the fragrance out of this world. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, it smells unbelievable.
Yeah.
Strong sort of perfume smell.
And it's actually a Sydney company that makes them. It's called Paradisia is the originator of that product.
Oh, so they'll grow good up in Sydney then?
No worries in Sydney.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because that's where they all originated from.
Would that go okay in Brisbane, do you think? Or
Yeah, fine.
yeah, all right, there's another choice for you, Katie.
Yeah, so the pearly gates.
Beautiful. And then just to circle back to B. Ella Rose saying, thank you, I'm in Wollongong. I think zone 8 maybe. That was in regards to the I forgot the name of it, the gardens, Hampton Gardens.
What's that?
Hampton style gardens.
Yeah, look, I think if you use my rules and apply it to your local products, which you'll find in your local nursery, I reckon you can make yourself a Hampton's Gardens, and with enough shade you can work a few hydrangeas in there. And I think when you're doing a Hampton's Garden, a good hardy hydrangea up there would be Sunday Fraise. Sunday Fraise is one of the hardier ones that we have down here. Really, and perfect colouring, you know, whites and pinks, perfect
Yeah.
colouring for your Hamptons garden.
All right, perfect. All right, guys, and if you want to re-hear any of Chris's answers, we publish this live after we finish, about 5 minutes. Just head over to YouTube and search for Hello Plants, and then you'll find our live videos category there. You can re-watch any of these lives and re-hear any of Chris's answers. For those of you who are with us now or have just joined us, this is a live Q&A. You can ask Chris any gardening questions or plant-related questions. Just drop your questions right now into the comments section and we'll get to them as quickly as we can. We've got to get through a few here. We're on multiple platforms, so we're endeavouring to get to everyone's questions, but thank you to all of you who've joined us and asked a question. All right, next one. Actually, Wise says hello. Chris?
Who's that?
Wise?
Hi, Wise.
Hello, maybe?
Hello. Yeah.
Hi. Muse says, when's the best time to plant? Oh, we're just talking about this. Muse is asking, when's the best time to plant star jasmine?
Look, star jasmine, Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane, any day of the week is the best time. Seriously, it's an evergreen, it's very, very hardy. Planting it now, it'll get well rooted and you'll get the best out of it. It grows best in the hot weather, so if it's well established before the hot weather, you get maximum growth.
Really? Okay. All right, so right now you're saying...
pop it in now with a bit of slow release fertilizer.
Perfect. All right, there you go, Muse. And then Pete Lamb asks, when will my Mexican orange flower, they are now starting to bloom? Sounds like they've started though. When will maybe the question got cut or something. When will my Mexican orange flower, they are now starting to bloom? Sounds like Pete might have answered his question.
No.
What would he be asking?
Um,
Pete, when will my Mexican orange flower, they are now starting to bloom? Maybe retype your question, Pete.
No, maybe what he's talking about is your Mexican.
Oh, like he's saying his one isn't flowering, but other ones are. That's what he might mean. He's saying, when will my Mexican orange flower, and then he says they, and then it's question mark, that they are now starting to bloom. Like is that true? Are other Mexican orange blossoms blooming now?
Mexican orange blossoms, I reckon
That'd be early, wouldn't it?
They should be blooming fairly soon. I'd imagine in Melbourne it's probably about a month away.
All right, Pete, we might be early. So hang in there. You might just be a tad early before your Mexican orange blossom actually blooms. I don't even know if Pete's still with us here, but hopefully you get to see this, Pete. All right, we'll move along to the next question. Thanks to everyone who's dropping your comments and questions into the comment section, plant related, gardening related, please. That'd be great. All right, Claire is asking, would camellia be a good screening hedge to plant above sewage pipes? But they're not pipe vicious,
I think
are they?
so. I think so. That's what she's saying. Would it be a good hedge because they have a fine fibrous root system that doesn't go down too deep.
Yeah.
And I don't think you could make a better choice.
All right, there you go.
And if it's a hot sunny spot, go for your Sasanqua camellias.
Yeah.
Or something like your volunteer camellia is a a hardy one.
Okay. And both of those are good screening options? Like they'll fill right in?
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, I love the volunteer camellia, and what it has different coloured flowers earlier in the season to what it has late in the season. They gradually change as the season goes on.
What do they start from?
They start with a pale pink ruffled flower, and by the end of the season, it's a deep purpley pink.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was just that deep purple colour.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, there you go, Claire. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you got to hear that answer. Trevor asks, I have some sprouting choco fruit. Do you know what choco fruit is?
Choco fruit. I think I do.
Okay, and then the rest of the question says, I have them on a windowsill, but no roots. When should I pot up? Thanks, Trevor.
Right, okay. I'd get them potted up straight away.
Yeah.
Choco is what I think he's talking about, and choco is a really interesting thing. I'd love to grow choco myself. In the when in Melbourne, back in the olden days when people were really poor,
Yeah.
they used to trap rabbits and eat rabbits, and then they'd have a choco vine. And a choco vine, I've only ever eaten them once,
What
but a
is that?
choco vine created a sort of like a sweet kind of potato,
Yeah.
sort of a starchy sort of a thing that would
Wow.
hang as fruit. It was a vine that would hang as fruit
Yeah.
on the pergola, and people, the poor people of Melbourne back
Yeah.
years ago
Yeah.
would when they needed a bit of tucker, they could trap a couple of rabbits on a nearby hillside
Yeah.
and pluck a few chocos off the choco vine and have dinner for peanuts.
Sounds like you're making it all up. I never even heard of it. That's why when I read
And I've
that
eaten
comment, I was
choco,
like,
choco vines are kind of interesting.
so starchy, is it?
It's a starchy kind of a fruit.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking of trying to find out a bit more about them. I'd love to know how they got them. I've been thinking of trying to find out a bit more about them and reintroduce them as a crop for
Okay.
people. It's kind of interesting being able to go out and pick a kind of it has a sweet, delicate flavour.
Right.
I remember.
Sweet, delicate, okay.
Yeah, I remember
Sounds
going
good.
to a friend of mine's mum's house, and she was very, very old-fashioned, and she had a pergola with a choco vine, and she fed us dinner, and we had chocos for dinner.
Wow.
Yeah.
So interesting. I
So-
wonder why I've never. they don't sell them, do they, in the veggie stores or anything?
I've heard you can get them in the big market,
Okay.
but
Choco vine.
it's probably a highly specialised thing, like prickly pear fruit or something like that.
Great. I got so lost in all of it. Did you actually answer? You answered his question on when he should pot it up.
Now,
Okay, cool.
Get it going. Like get it going before the get it potted up, and then get them planted out. They're quite a vigorous. They like plenty of water, plenty of fertilizer, a nice bit of loose soil, a bit of hot sun, and they're
Yeah.
a very vigorous plant. And you can have a pergola that you can produce edible potato-like fruit off.
Amazing. All right, there you go, Trevor. And Claire says thank you. That was for answering the question before.
When I was young, it was quite common for people to have a choco vine.
Really?
We were a bit more middle class. We didn't have a choco vine.
Really?
Yeah.
Choco vine was like the equivalent of the potato for the Irish, was it?
Yeah, it was like people with choco vines had outhouses and
Anyway, Claire says thank you. That was in relation to the camellia, the good choice for growing above a sewage pipe as a screen. Kylie's asking, what do you feed mulberry fruiting trees?
mulberries. Look, mulberries are a very straight ahead tree. They would like a moderate pH, like a sort of a 6 to a 6.5, and then plenty of NPK fertilizer, a bit of water, and you're in business. And they're a wonderful. If you plant a mulberry, we've got mulberries here. We've got nice black mulberries here at the moment, and one of my suppliers has got some exotic like Pakistani blacks and things like that.
Oh,
so
those
we've got
ones,
those
yeah.
up online. But we've
Yeah.
just got plain black mulberries, and black mulberries grow like crazy. And in no time at all, they'll produce kilos and kilos of fruit that's just like a blackberry fruit on a lovely leafy tree.
Yeah, I've got one in my front yard. It was prolific as like. See, what about mulching them? Would they like that or not really?
Yeah, love
Mulch
a
up.
bit of mulch, but they'd love a bit of mulch, but not essential. Your key things would be plenty of water and a bit of tucker,
Okay.
bit of fertilizer,
All right, there you go.
and a
sorry,
bit
it
of
was- who
lime
was
for a
that?
lot of people.
Oh, that was for Kylie. A bit of what?
Lime.
Lime, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Kylie, and if you do need to rehear any of the answers from Chris, you can head over to Hello Plants on YouTube and just search for this live. We'll publish it after we're complete here. Chris has a question for you saying, have a real problem with possums and rats eating my peaches when it's netted and each individual fruit is netted too. I have a dog, so can't bait. Any ideas?
Rats.
And can't use the rat bait. What about some cats?
So what is it? It's the problem is rats, and what are the other things?
Rats and possums.
Rats and possums.
I mean, yeah, cats. I've got cats, and that doesn't keep the possums away.
No.
They do get the possums occasionally, but there's just heaps of possums.
Yeah. Funny, I was travelling in Japan a few years back. At any rate, I noticed on a lot of farms they had beautiful little netted houses,
netted houses.
Yeah, like sort of a framework.
Yeah.
And they were quite attractive looking. And then they had like a netting over them to keep the birds off and birds
okay.
and bats and things. And my partner and I have a bit of an orchard, and between the bats and the birds, and even with netting, it's very hard to get any fruit. And I've been thinking of building a netted house.
Yeah.
And putting dwarf fruit trees in it.
But how do they get sunlight and stuff inside it?
No, just lightly netted, like something
okay.
something that's something that lets the sun in. You want the sun, you
okay.
want the wind,
Yeah.
you want the bees. So you just need a netting that keeps the birds and the bats out.
Yeah, and it's like a greenhouse type thing.
Yeah,
is it?
and what that does is
cool.
that a netted house slows the wind a bit. Like when it's very windy, it'll whistle the netted house.
Yeah.
And that whistling is the sound of the wind being shredded and slowed.
Yeah.
And it takes the edge off the hot sun, and
Yeah.
the fruit trees go berserk in there.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, if you put the right sort of netting on. And so really, when I think about it, bats and rats, the answer would be a well sealed up netted house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Might not be the easiest thing
Bats,
to
rats,
pull
and
off
possums,
there,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
you can be done. There is
Yeah.
a way, Chris. If you're willing to build a little netted house in your backyard, might have to be the answer. Otherwise, I mean, you can always get several cats. I haven't got any rodent. I've got several cats in my place. There's no rodents at all, except for
Yeah.
possums.
Yeah.
For some possums are not scared, but
Yeah.
the rats and mice are. Okay, so all right, cool. Carly's come back, says thank you. Just check for any more questions on the other platforms. And all right, so Betty's come to us here, just asking. I have a narrow garden. What plants would you recommend for a very narrow garden?
Okay. Say it's a narrow, sunny garden. Something that's been really popular here lately is the emerald. What is it? The emerald green hebe, and it's just the most beautiful little ball.
Yeah.
And what I've been doing with narrow gardens is
There it is, yeah.
Wow, what amazing service! Look at that! Look at that! That's
Emerald
a
green,
beautiful,
yeah.
compact, neat little plant, as neat as neat. And then, say you had a long, skinny garden, what you could do is plant 2 or 3 of these, and then plant a sky pencil, which is a skinny, dark green kind of a plant that grows a couple of meters tall. You can trim it.
Yeah.
And if you did a couple of these, a sky pencil, a couple more of these, a sky pencil, you'd have a really nice display. And if you wanted a bit more colour than this, you could use a hebe Pretty in Pink.
Okay.
And it's got purples and lavender. This one doesn't have flowers, but your hebe Pretty in Pink has purpley leaves and pretty little lavender flowers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That'll give you. Here we got the sky pencil for you as well. Yeah, sky pencil will go good in that narrow garden bed.
Oh, that's a
wouldn't it?
pencil pine, but your sky pencil is like, if you imagine something like that with little dark green leaves.
Yeah.
And so that would make a sort of, and if you wanted more colour, you do the hebe Pretty in Pink, or you could even do
Hebe Pretty in Pink. Yeah.
hebe. It's funny, for little gardens, a hebe's a lovely little bush. Is the hebe Winter Wonder. Hebe Winter Wonder, which has beautiful, that has lavenders and creams and all sorts of colours in the leaves.
Okay, beautiful. All right, thanks for the question, Betty. And there's there's a couple of suggestions, or a few suggestions there for you for your narrow garden bed. And for those of you who are here with us now, we're going to be here for a few more minutes. If you have any gardening related questions or plant related questions, or you just want some advice for your garden, drop your question right now in the comment section. Chris will answer it live. I got a question here from Daryl saying, my garden feels empty. I have a fairly large front garden and I'm not sure how to make it look fuller. Any suggestions?
Actually, yeah, I did a garden design for a couple yesterday, and they had an old brick house and they wanted low maintenance.
Oh yeah.
But they wanted colour, and they also wanted some privacy. Like they wanted to be able to sit out in their front garden and enjoy their front garden and not sort of feel naked to the street, you know?
Yeah.
And so anyway, so what I did was and I hadn't done a garden like this for ages. I kind of remembered how my aunties, my mum and my dad and my aunties and that built their gardens. And I did the house was a 60s house, and I did a 60s garden for them.
Yeah.
And I used I used some modern plants, but I used things like purple smoke bushes, and I used old-fashioned white, colourful white Gielias, and I basically did nice colourful bushes. I used a couple of giant grasses with big fluffy tops on them, and I was able to fill up a big front. They had a big empty front yard, and I was able to fill up a big empty front yard really quite economically, because I used, instead of using lots of the modern little grasses and Hebes and things like I've just been talking about, I used all medium-sized bushes. I used a couple of silver birches, a couple of Japanese maples, but I used colourful medium-sized bushes. And I was amazed how few bushes it took to fill the garden, and that was really. And what I reckon, if I had to describe the garden I did, I'd call it a contemporary 60s garden.
Right. What's that? Is that like cottage and
No, it's not cottagey. It's more sort of. I just remember how my parents and I did. They had they were planting biggish bushes, and not that many of them. And neither these biggish bushes, grow 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.8. And I was able to block them off. And we designed it so they had an eating area, so that they could sort of sit out there and enjoy their front garden and be in their front garden and have privacy from the street.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that would be a big empty garden. You could come in and get a free garden design, or you could just listen to what I'm saying, which is big bushes. Come in, like you can come in here and just get me to pick out a dozen big bushes for you, but that are colourful, flowery, and interesting. We've got lots of things here that will do it, like your variegated whitegelia, your smoke bush, your fairy magnolia, all things that'll be nice and bushy, but big and fat, and that way you don't need. It doesn't not going to cost you a fortune to fill a big space. Like we did a front garden there, and I was. Sometimes, like front gardens, when you're using a lot of small, intricate kind of plants, they come the price tag. You put it all together, you go, wow, that's a lot of money. But I thought, wow, this is really on the cheap, And we did a really big full garden by doing big bushes, which you didn't need that many of them. It really worked well. So that could be a way of picking that sort of mid-sized, not real big trees or anything, but mid-sized big bushes, and just fill it up. And they could be like a metre and a bit apart, and end up with a very full garden.
Wow, and that won't it won't overgrow. Like obviously, when it gets a bit older, it'll all bush up. But if you get medium sized, you won't get that overgrown style garden, will you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
you'll get the full effect, which is what Daryl is kind of after, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Without that overgrown look, Yeah. Because I've seen gardens go, like awry when they've just popped everything in willy-nilly, and you get like a jungle when they don't look after it.
Yeah, but let me pop in a plug for my garden design service.
Yeah, I was going to say,
because we have what we call a free garden design service, and it's not exactly 100% free. How it works is like this: is you can buy, say you bought the $299 package, right?
Yeah.
And with the $299 package, what we give you is we give you $300 worth of plants. We chuck in a $99 feature tree, like a weeping cherry, a beautiful, say, white or pink weeping cherry, or sometimes with negotiation we'll put in some other sort of, so you get this $100, and the $100, and then you get a 45-minute session with me. So you do pay $299, but that all goes on your garden. So what you pay for me is nothing. And free delivery. Actually,
the best part.
Luckily we've got Mickey here. So Mickey, if over most of Victoria with that $299 package, you got free delivery. You got 45 minutes with me. You've got a free weeping cherry, a 6-foot weeping cherry, and $300 worth of plants, all for $299.
You mean they get to spend 45 minutes with you with a one-on-one consultation and get a free weeping cherry?
Yeah.
So
that's nuts. They get extra. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, check out our free garden design service. You can actually book that free garden design right now. Just head over to hellohelloplants.com.au and you'll see the free garden design tab at the top. Just click on that and start booking away.
If you want to fill up a large area cheaply, just come in and tell me what you want. And even people who don't know what I want, like actually I was doing one the other day, and this woman was wonderful. She was a school teacher, and she's used to bossing kids around,
Yeah.
And anyway, so and she said, look, here's my garden, I want you to fill it up. And anyway, I put together some ideas and a concept.
Yeah.
And she said, I don't like that. and
like she was telling off the kids.
Yeah, I don't like that. Oh. And at any rate, but I just went with that, and I said, okay, what do you like?
Ah.
Because what it is, I think it's a great idea to quickly do, and that's the thing with my garden design. Sometimes you hire an expensive garden designer and they come along, they have a little meeting with you, they disappear for 3 weeks, they
Yeah.
come back and they show you something
It's
you
all
don't like, and then
messed
they
up, yeah.
justify it. But what happened? She said, I don't like that. I said, well, what do you like? And she said, well, I want it more like this and more like that. And then I just did exactly that, and she was really, really happy.
Yeah.
And she apologized to me afterwards. But I said, look, I said no. It's actually better to work with people that could tell you that they don't like that. You know.
Yeah.
And actually, I had a few people like that on the weekend where I put up some sort of an idea, and they said they didn't like it, and I just scrapped it and did something that was more. I could say, well, what do you like, and found out what they really like. You know.
Yeah, you can work with them. And actually, Lavon is asking, is this only available in Victoria? Talking about this garden design service.
At the moment, it is.
Yeah, I mean, you could come in if you don't mind travelling. You'll do the garden design, but it's
really look, to take advantage of it, our free delivery and everything like that.
that's
It's best
true.
to do it in Victoria.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, we'll take a couple more questions. So feel free to drop your questions in the comment section down below. Any gardening or plant-related advice, gardening questions, Chris will answer them. 6 years of horticultural expertise. We've only got a couple of minutes left, so get your questions, last-minute questions in now. Sally was saying, how do I choose the right feature tree for my front yard? Like, would that be the soil type and where the sun is and that sort of thing, or?
Do you know, I have to do that up to 8 times a day.
Really? Feature trees?
Yeah.
Wow.
And what I do is I look at the house and I look at the space. Like say for instance, that house that I did, the 60s house I did the landscape on, where I did a sort of a 60s style garden.
Yeah, I see that.
The bricks were really dark on that house, and I thought I need to lighten this up. And the first thing I did is I put 5 silver birches in the front.
Yeah.
And silver birches have the white trunk and the pale green foliage, and that was my feature tree. And then I threw in a small purple maple and a small Sinkaki maple, which is sort of light greens and reds and yellows and pinks and things in the autumn.
Yeah.
But I was really, the house spoke to me. The dark brick said, lighten me up. You know, brighten this up a bit, you know?
Yeah.
And
interesting. So you got the vibe.
Yeah,
that's good.
And then a lot of houses that I look at now are very, very modern, and I might go for something a bit more stark in the tree. So really, the space in the house talks to me. And also then the next thing is the house facing north or is it facing south?
That would really, that's right.
And a lot of these days, a lot of people come in with a 2-story house facing south, and you're very likely to want to use a Japanese maple or an evergreen magnolia where you're facing south. So often I look at the house and I look at the space, and then I look at where the sun rises and falls, and then that will
determine what to choose.
Yeah, and then if the people don't know too much about trees, you don't give them too many choices either. You do the hard work. You kind of work out. You sort of say, well, look, it's facing south, or it's facing north, or it's facing east, or facing west.
Yeah.
And that's how the sun's going to be, and then that's how the soil is in that neighbourhood, and that's the colour of the house, and you can narrow it down to 1 or 2 plants, and you might give them a choice of 2. And I try not to give them too many choices because it's hard on a person if you don't know much about it. Like, you know, like all of a sudden, imagine if you just came from another country that didn't have cars, and you went down to a car yard and they got you to choose a car. You know, it'd be much better the guy said, look, this is a car you want.
This is the one you want. Yeah. And there'll be a select few that are perfect.
Yeah,
for
if
what
you
they
knew all
need.
about cars, you've been driving them for years, you go down there and choose from 20, 30 cars, it'd be fun, you know. But to do it if you knew nothing, it'd be scary.
Yeah, you'd be doing a disservice to them as well. It's good that you actually select, you know.
And narrow it down.
Narrow it down, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lavon just said, I'm in South Australia, unfortunately. And thank you for answering, though. Well, look, if you are in Victoria, you do get the free delivery and you get a free weeping cherry, which we're going to just show here on the live. Have a look at this. And you spend over $299 to get it, of course.
Yeah.
So free garden design, free Weeping Cherry and free delivery, and that's the Weeping Cherry there. Just to show you what you get for our Victorian only residents.
And this is a falling snow. It has beautiful white blossom.
Oh yeah.
If they are not in Victoria, but if they spend over $2.99, they get a free delivery and free Weeping Cherry.
Wait, what? If they're not in Victoria?
Yeah, they're not in Victoria, but if they spend over $2.99, they still get the free Weeping Cherry, right?
That's correct, yes. Yeah. Wait. So if they're in South Australia, they get
No,
it?
we can't do it.
We can't do it. It's too far, yeah.
Just no free delivery.
No free delivery and yeah. They would have to, yeah, we don't deliver to, we can't deliver into
No,
state.
no,
at
there's
the
problems
moment, yeah.
with quarantine.
There's a little bug, unfortunately. We would love to get that to you. All right, well, look, we've got a couple, we're going to answer 2 more questions. We'll have to, the time's come up to a close here. So Lavon did come back with a question. What bushes are okay in septic area? The EnviroCycle septic. Do you know what that is? I have done citrus, but would love to plant bushes too.
If the drainage is okay there, if the drainage is working, like I've done sort of septic areas where the drainage is, where it's all boggy and you're trying to get rid of some of the water, and I think some of your Australian native grasses like Dianella and your Lemandra longifolia all work like a sort of a medium to large size bush. But if it's well drained, you can kind of do anything you like. But say if it's a bit borderline, you'll find most of your callistemons, like a Little John callistemon, and your Westringias, your callistemons and Westringias will take quite a bit of moisture,
bit of marshy,
quite a bit of moisture, and between your different varieties of Westringia and your different varieties of smaller growing callistemons, you've got quite a range of coloured flowers and foliages and quite a bit of interest. So they, in a dampish area, they're going to be a good, safe choice.
Beautiful. All right, there's some good selection there. So check those out.
And
Little John callistemon, you said,
no, really, pretty much any callistemon.
Okay, any callistemon,
and pretty much any Westringia, but within that you get all different colours. You know, you find like there's a lovely little white one called an Anzac. There's your Little John, which is a red one. Yeah. So there's quite a selection available, and you'll find. In a sort of like, if it was an absolute bog, I tend to go for Australian native grasses. Yeah. But if it was just a bit on the wet side, and I wanted to play it safe, I'd go with like callistemons and Westringias.
All right, there you go, Lavon. Yeah, Lavon says thank you. You're welcome, and thanks for watching. All right, I think that might be all we have time for question-wise. Thanks so much to everyone. Pauline. Oh, wait, is this Pauline Hanson real? Says hello all the way from Canberra. I love your lives. All the best from Auntie Pauline. I don't know. That could be a fake account. What do you reckon?
Just click the account.
Yeah, it's probably a fake one.
Hi,
anyway,
Auntie Pauline.
If it is Pauline Hanson, hello.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
If it is Pauline, we'd love to do a podcast with you and talk about some gardening issues.
If it really was Pauline, we want to see Pauline's garden.
Yeah, I'd like to know how Pauline feels about migrant plants, ones that come from overseas, the non-native plants.
Not
things like apple trees, you know.
Yeah. Apple trees from overseas are they are.
Yeah. So apple trees and oranges and lemons, they're all imports.
Yeah. Well, we could ask her those questions on a podcast. That'd be great. All right, guys. Well, look, that's all we're going to have time for today. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. And we do these lives every Monday, Australian Standard Eastern Time. And happy to have you here, and we can answer any more questions you might have gardening related. You can join us next week. And I think that's pretty much it. Is there anything else you want to say before we go? Like, I got a live this Friday with an auction.
Live this Friday with an amazing, exciting auction item, which won't be revealed till tomorrow.
That's not good. We need to kind of know that information right now. Yeah. So we'll have an exciting auction. Just stay tuned for that. This Friday at 12 o'clock we'll be running that. And I think that's pretty much it, guys. Come and join us then. Bye-bye.